Hello, happy Wednesday. Well, I'm not going to call it a tutorial Wednesday. Kind of is. We're kind of doing some tutorials. Let me turn my volume down here on my iPad before I blast everybody out. How's everyone tonight? Hello, hello. See a lot of familiar names. If this is your first time, my name is Katrina and I am the owner and cookie artist at Dots and Bows Cookies. Hello, everyone. Happy pre-Valentine's Day, right? If you guys have paid any bit of attention to my page, I've had a crazy week and I've been kind of radio silent a little bit because I was working on 1 bajillion cookies. But everything worked out really great. I sold out today. I'm excited. Everything went really well. So thank you to everyone local who stopped by and picked up some goodies. Hey, everybody. Hey, the Freemans. Hey, Peggy. How are y'all? Okay, so I figured I'm kind of, shall we say, tired, burnt out. I don't know if I'm going to say burnout because I never really get burnt out of cookies, but I've been touching cookies, icing cookies, doing so many things with cookies that I just was like, I can't bring myself to decorate one more cookie this week, I don't think. So I figured, you know what? I would get a lot of questions about packaging. Thank you, Peggy. We get a lot of questions about storage, about freezing cookies, decorated and undecorated. I get a lot of questions about attaching sticks to cookies. So we're going to go over a few of those things tonight so that we can clear some of that up because I get a lot of questions about all those topics. The keyword tonight, if you saw it here in the pinned comments and scrolling across, is storage. We have some fun links in there. Can everyone hear me now? Let me know if you guys can start hearing me now. I think something wackadoo happened with my webcam sound. All of a sudden it kind of fritzed out on me or something. It looks like it's showing me it's back now. It's showing me the little bar here. So let me know if y'all can hear now. Give me some thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Everyone's still telling me no sound. Can anyone hear me at all? Okay, I'm getting a lot of thumbs up now. Can you all hear me? I took the sound off again and re-added it. I'm not sure if it was because my webcam if my webcam was maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because it was farther away. I hope you all can hear me now. Let me know if this sounds better. Let me know if this is better. Okay. All right. Can you back up, please? Hopefully y'all can hear me now. It's showing me over here on my monitor that's registering sound. So I'm hoping everyone can hear. Hello, hello, hello. Can everyone hear me? Hello? Let me look at my volume. Let me see. I'll turn my webcam volume up. Can everyone hear me? Okay, good. I'm getting thumbs up, so hopefully everybody can hear me. I have everything plugged in. I'm not sure what it would be staticky on. Let me know. Hopefully it's coming in better. Okay, good. Okay. No. Go in there with your dad, please. Sorry, y'all. It's crazy in here, okay? Yeah, Belinda, I'm on YouTube right now, too. I'm streaming on YouTube. I don't think it's a Facebook thing. I want to say it was maybe a webcam thing. I don't know. Okay. All right, we're back in action. Okay, so let's get this show back on the road here. Okay, if something happens again, y'all let me know, but I'm going to keep watching my monitor over here and make sure that the sound is still on. It is a wacky Wednesday. Oh my gosh. Crazy. Okay. All right, here we go. So I am going to, first of all, talk about attaching a stick to a cookie. As you guys know, if you don't know, you can bake cookies on a stick. Now, we put a link in, so afterward you can get the link. We added it to our products page. This is just a cookie stick. These are by Wilton. They are not a wood stick. It's like a kind of paper hardened, I think it has like a hardened plastic core, and then it's wrapped with like a paper type material on the outside. These are my favorite ones to use. They're very durable. They're very strong. They're not like wood sticks. You don't have to worry about them like burning in the oven or anything like that. So we threw a link in to our product page for these as well. I have attached sticks to cookies a few different ways. You can bake them in the cookie. So if you were like rolling out your dough and you cut out your shapes, especially if you use a thicker cookie like I do, I make a 3/8 inch cookie. It's 3/8 of an inch thick. It's a lot easier to put the stick into the cookie. If you make a 1/4 inch thickness or anything really less than 3/8, when you place the stick on the back of the cookie, you may need to pat it with a dish. Hello? Okay, give me just a second, y'all. I'm trying to get everything back up and running here. I don't know what is going on tonight. I have no idea. Let's see here. Okay, can y'all hear me? I'm gonna try. Hopefully, this is still coming in. I don't know what is going on tonight. I never, ever have this problem. I had to disconnect. I plugged. It's gonna look weird for a minute. I went black for a second. I had to unplug my entire webcam and plug it back into my USB port on my laptop. I'm not sure what happened. It may be a short. I'm gonna keep trying to watch it. Right now, it looks like we're okay. Ugh, so annoying. Y'all. It's been one of those weeks. Let's just put it that way. Okay, can everybody hear me? Everybody's good. Hopefully, y'all can see me. Y'all can hear me now. I'll have to investigate why this is happening. So we'll see. Okay, let's get back on the road. This is crazy. Okay, so as I was saying before, my least favorite way to do this is to bake the cookie into the stick. I don't feel it's secure. I think it's ugly. Sometimes if you have to pat it with a big lump of dough on the back, or I just don't like it. I think it looks less professional. Hey, Rachel. Also, there's really like 3 ways you can attach a stick to the back of a cookie. After the cookie is baked, you can also attach the stick by adding it with royal icing. So you could put like a thicker royal icing here, put your stick down into there, and then I also like to go and cover the stick up again with more royal icing. Again, that's not my favorite way. I don't like that way either. I feel like that way it looks really crazy. You have all this big blotch of icing on the back. I just don't like it. I think it looks kind of crappy, for lack of better words. I'm going to show you all tonight how I like to attach the stick on the back of a cookie. That way the stick isn't even touching the actual cookie. So the way that I do it is, and I'm going to use this bubble wrap that I'm going to use here in a bit to show y'all something. Let me zoom down just a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Nothing like some technical issues on a Wednesday night. Okay. What I like to do, and this is a heat sealed cookie, by the way. And my webcam's going to do this weird, I'm just going to tell y'all right now what's about to happen. My webcam is going to do this weird autofocus thing anytime I move stuff too much, because normally I turn that function off before I go live, but because I had to disconnect my webcam and plug it back in, it reset it to that. So just be aware that that may be happening. Okay, so anyway, once the Okay, can y'all hear me on this one? We're going to try to go with my laptop sound. Because something's going on with my webcam, obviously. You guys hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. This is crazy. I don't even know what's going on. We're going to try to hang in there, y'all, and try to see what's going on. Y'all can still hear me. I have it on the laptop right now. So let me know if y'all can hear that. Okay. I'm telling you, Kelly, you have no idea. Ridiculous. It's been like, I feel like I've had this ridiculous just like rain cloud over me for the past few days. I don't know what is going on. Y'all, I told you about some crazy story going on with me yesterday. Let me just say, crazy. It's probably a wire, whatever, short. As long as you guys can hear me now, we're good. I'm just going to go with my sound on the laptop, and we'll do what we can do as far as that goes. Everybody's still telling me in and out, but I'm hoping you can hear me. Okay, I'm being told that there's an issue with ManyCam. So that is the system that we use for our lives. So we're just gonna go with this sound on our laptop and hope for the best, y'all. So if something happens, I'll try to speak up and I'll do my best as much as I can. I don't know what's going on. It's like I have no idea. I don't even know what's going on. Okay. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I am going to. It's still sputtering. It must be our program we're in. I don't know what to even do about that because I'm not a tech person and I have no idea what's happening with it. We're going to do our best though. Okay. If you guys can hear me somewhat, you should still get the idea. Okay. So what I like to do is I lay the cookie down. And then what I do is this is a big old tape gun. But I like to use packing tape for what I'm about to show you guys. Packing tape is a lot stronger than like if you were to try to use Scotch tape or something like that. So I use the clear packing tape. And I will show you what I do to, sorry, Carrie's talking to me too about our issue. You gotta love IT issues, y'all. If it wasn't for IT issues, we'd have no issues ever to talk about. It was, Belinda? Yeah, it's gotta be this program. Okay, so here's what I do. So we're just gonna go forward, y'all, and hopefully y'all can hear me. I lay the stick down on the back of the cookie, and I take just a little piece of clear packing tape. And the first thing I do is I put the clear packing tape over the stick, and I press that onto the back of my bag. Okay? Now, at this stage, if you lift it up, it's gonna flop around everywhere, right? But at least the stick is adhered to the bag. Okay? Then what I do is you take the stick, and first of all, I'm going to tear off another little piece of tape here. Okay, so I have another little piece of tape. Then what I do is I take the stick and I twirl it. I twist it up in the bag, right, until it's tight against the cookie. Okay, once you twist it like that and it's pulling that bag, it's pinching the bag together, then I just take my other piece of tape and I lay it right over the top again of where I twisted that bag. A lot of times I'll even maybe do another second piece. Now you see when I pick it up, it's not flopping around like it was before. So a lot of times, like I said, I'll take even like a third little piece of tape. I might even do like one more little twist to make sure that it holds. And now your cookie's good to go. So you can see I'm holding it upright. It's not falling, right? It's not falling off. It's on there super tight. So you can see how much better that would look in a bouquet or something. You don't have big blobs of icing. You know, you're not going to have blobs of dough if you make a thinner cookie. So it's actually a pretty cool way to attach the stick on the back. You don't have to worry about, you know, it looking crazy on the back. Really, you're just seeing clear tape. So that's my favorite way to attach cookies to the back of a stick for cookies on a stick. Some people, like I said, Belinda said earlier, she likes to put the stick in as soon as they come out of the oven. It's really personal preference. I personally don't like to mess with my cookies at all once they come out of the oven. That, to me, I don't know. I've had bad luck doing stuff with cookies fresh out of the oven because I feel like it's messing with the integrity of the baked cookie and it shouldn't be messed with. So anyway, that's what I do with mine. Really easy way. It's a good tip to have your cookies stick. It stays there. You're not going to have the stick falling out. That's another thing that I've had happen with when I bake my stick into the cookie. Sometimes, as the cookie cools, it will contract back down and the stick will become loose in the cookie. Now you're going to have a problem with if your cookie falls off of your stick as you're putting your arrangement together or whatever you're doing. But this is a really cool little tip because then you're not really messing with the candle. Okay? So this is a cool way. So that's as far as putting cookies on stick. Now, let's talk really quick about freezing cookies because I know I get that question a lot. So first of all, let me show you. It's going to look weird because I can probably move my webcam back up now. Let's look. Since I'm not using the audio, let me look away for a second if you get dizzy. Maybe. Y'all, it's been a long day. Okay. So I moved up the webcam a little bit because y'all can still hear me on the laptop. I have these little storage containers, and you're not going to be able to see it too well. They're made by Sterilite. If you saw on my page, I had put a bunch of pictures of my Valentine's cookies that I had stored when I put them in the freezer. These are my favorite go-to containers for when I put cookies in the freezer. Or just even storing cookies. If I'm going to bake cookies a couple days ahead of time and I don't want them sitting out, these are great airtight containers. If you can see, they're stackable. So they go and you can stack them together. They're sold as a 2-piece stackable set. I have a few of them. I really like them. You can fit a lot of cookies inside here. They're decent size. Let me see if I can zoom out anymore. So y'all can see, because I'm zoomed in a little bit. There we go. Okay. So you can see what they look like, right? So here is the storage container. Like I said, they're stackable. I get these at Target. We threw the link in there, I think in our product page of where you can get these at Target. Anyway, they're stackable. They have this lid. Everything's airtight. You can see they're pretty good size. I fit a lot of cookies in here. I want to say, depending on the size of the cookie, if it's not a really big cookie, I can usually fit at least a couple dozen in each layer. Like when I did my Valentine's cookies, I had over 400 cookies, and I was able to do them in 4 double sets, and it didn't even take the whole thing. I think it was like, I don't know, 3.5 sets or something. So these are great. Now, what I'll do is I'm going to take one of these off so I can show you. So you can freeze undecorated cookies and you can freeze decorated cookies. Okay? Someone's telling me there's no sound, but mine is showing sound. So if you guys are having an issue, I don't know. Mine's showing on my end that there's sound. Hey, Gloria. Okay, I'm going to show you with a decorated cookie, but the same thing applies, okay? The only difference is when I store undecorated cookies, I do not heat seal them. What I do is I take and I will lay down a whole layer. First of all, I put down freezer paper if they're going in the freezer. You can get freezer paper anywhere. Oh, thank you, Bunny. Okay, good. Okay, thank you, Kathy. I was hoping everyone could still hear. I have paper, and I just, cut the size or, tear the size that I need to cover the bottom. And then what I do, I put a piece of freezer paper down, and then all of my, this is for undecorated cookies. So I would take all my undecorated cookies, lay them out. You want to make sure it's a flat, even layer. And then I'll tear off another piece of freezer paper, layer that on top, and then I just keep putting layers on until it's, towards the top. You don't want it to be overflowing or anything. You just want it to be, not to the very tip top. You just want it to be towards the top, okay? Because you want to leave room so you're not smashing your cookies down if you're putting another bin or a lid on top. So that's how I do undecorated. Decorated, and I'll talk to you guys all about what the steps are when you take them out of the freezer. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but I want to at least get through storing them first. So for your decorated cookies, when I'm freezing decorated cookies, I always heat seal them individually. So before I do put them in anything to go in the freezer, each of them gets sealed just like this one. And then what I'll do is I'll layer them in here, and I still put a freezer paper in between each one. It's not super duper necessary, but I do because it's not only gives you a barrier between this bag over the cookie, but then you have a barrier of the freezer paper and then the next layer of cookies with the bag. So to me, it gives it a little bit of an extra barrier there. It doesn't really matter, Belinda, if it's shiny side up or down. It doesn't matter. Freezer paper, they sell it in big rolls. It's like by Reynolds brand, like the aluminum foil and stuff. It's paper that you wrap items in to put in your freezer, so it saves items from, like you can wrap meats and things like that in it, and it helps create a barrier because one side of it has like a wax on it, have like a sealant on it. It's food safe, and you can wrap it around food so that it can be in the freezer for longer, and it keeps out like freezer burn. But you can find it in any grocery store. Becky, I just have a heat sealer. I got one on Amazon. I believe we have the link to the one I got in our product page. It's just a little pressed down heat sealer, and I just heat seal the cellophane bags. Yeah, Bunny, it's a lot like butcher paper. One side is not covered in that protectant, and one side is. But it just comes in big rolls. Yes, exactly. It saves everything from freezer burn. But it's great because that one side that has like the covering, like that, I don't even want to say it's wax. It's like I don't know, it has some sort of coating on it, right? It's also non-stick, so it's really great for stuff like that too. Because when you wrap it to put it in the freezer, you're not getting things sticking to it. If you were to wrap it over meat or something, it just peels right off. Hey Marilyn. So when I'm putting the decorated cookies in, I'll do the same thing. Like I said, I heat seal each one individually, and then I stack them. There's a little mat in here or something. I stack them all, and the same thing. I do them in layers, and then I'll pop lids on, or I stack them up together and then put the lid on. Okay, so here's the big deal. So this is what everybody kind of gets caught up on, I think, when they freeze. Once I get them all together and they're all set, I pop them in the freezer. When it's time to get them out of the freezer, and I do the exact same thing I do for decorated cookies that I do for undecorated cookies. Yeah, Karen, you do parchment paper because you're not really, sorry y'all, there's some kind of gnat that came in through my front door or something. It doesn't really matter. You can do parchment paper in this too. I've done that if I don't have freezer paper. It doesn't matter because you're just really using it as a barrier between your layers. I just use freezer paper if I have it on hand. But, if for some reason I don't have it on hand, I'll use parchment paper. Oh, isn't Michelle? Yeah, you actually use freezer paper if you have like a silhouette. And these like to pop off like that too, by the way. These just snap on. You see this handle? They like to do that. Yeah, it's definitely, parchment paper and freezer paper are different, but for this method, it doesn't really matter. They're both serving the same purpose. Can everybody hear me? It's showing I'm still okay on my side. It's still registering as everyone can hear. Okay, so that's what I do. So when you take it out of the freezer, like I was saying, I do the same thing with my undecorated cookies and my decorated cookies. I take it out of the freezer, and so let's say I have cookies in both of these, and I have connected it all together. My lid is on. It's airtight. Once I take it out of the freezer, I take it out and I go set it like on my countertop in my house. And you never, ever, ever want to take your lid off. You do not want to open it whatsoever. You don't want to take a layer off. You don't want to do anything until they have come to room temperature, until they've completely thawed. The reason for that is there is air that is all the same temperature inside your cookies. This is especially important with decorated cookies. There is air that is all in here that's the same temperature. If you were to pop open the lid or open this up and you're letting that different tempered air, the warmer air, in too fast into what your air is in here, it's going to put condensation. I'm going to move this out of the way for a minute. Yeah, you can use wax paper too. It will cause condensation in your cookies. You'll start having a lot of problems, and you definitely don't want that with decorated cookies, because if you start having condensation, what happens when you add water to royal icing? Well, it's going to break down your royal icing decoration. So my big thing is to tell everybody, do not open that container at all until everything is thawed and comes to room temperature. Depending on where you're at and what's going on, that usually will take anywhere between, I would say, between 4 to 8 hours. It really depends on what climate you're in and what's going on, maybe how warm it is in your house, how humid it is there. So that's the big trick of freezing that I think a lot of people run into is they take it out of the freezer and they just immediately open it. You don't want to do that. You want to leave that tempered air in there until it all comes up together and brings the temp up together. That way, when you will take them out. I put cookies in the freezer all the time decorated. I take them out. As long as I leave them in there while they're all thawing together, they come out perfect. I don't have any problems. So, now, let me zoom in a little bit. I'm going to talk to you guys real quick about wrapping cookies to ship them. So, I can't ship cookies that people have purchased from me. That's against my cottage laws here in Texas. However, oh yeah, overnight is perfect. Yeah, overnight is plenty of time. A lot of times that's what I'll do just to be safe. If I know I'm going to be using the next day, I pop them out of the freezer, set them out on my counter. They're there the whole overnight, and the next day they're perfect. I can just get them out and start working on them. The storage box is Sterilite. It is by Sterilite, and I bought that at Target. Pat, if it's in freezer bags, as long as it's sealed and you still aren't letting any of that air in, you should be fine. Again, you're just going to let it sit out. The thing is, you want number one, you want it to be an airtight container, and number two, you don't want to let any air in until everything is thawed. That's the biggest thing about that. Okay, real quick, let me talk to you guys about shipping cookies. So like I was saying, I can't ship cookies for my cottage laws in my state. However, I send cookies a lot to friends and family. And I'm going to show you guys how I have found to be the best method for shipping cookies and arriving without being broken or damaged or anything. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is no hating on the USPS, but I'm going to throw them a little bit of shade for a minute. I have shipped cookies umpteen times through USPS, and the box has shown up and looks like someone kicked it from the 50-yard line. So as a personal preference, I will not ship cookies through USPS anymore at all, just because I have had way too many problems with that. FedEx and UPS usually do a really great job. My go-to most of the time is FedEx. So they have the express boxes. I know this is really close, but you can really use any box you want. And I'll show you kind of my tips for doing this. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you have a layer of either bubble wrap, and I usually do a couple layers of it. Either a couple layers of bubble wrap in the bottom of your box before you start putting any cookies in. I pad it up pretty well. Like I said, I'll take this is a 12 by 12 sheet, a 12 by 12 sheet of bubble wrap, and I'll usually, depending on the size of my box, I will fold over the sheet, and then I'll layer this a couple of times so you have enough cookies to start sitting down on, okay? And I know this is going to do this weird autofocus thing, but we'll have to deal with it. Then what I do is, so let me take this cookie off the stick and I'll show y'all what I do. Okay. I just completely tore that out of the wrapper, but it doesn't really matter. Where do you get the wrapper for the cookies? This is just a cellophane bag. You can order them from anywhere. Just look up cellophane bags. They sell them in all kinds of different sizes. I usually, for most of mine, I get the 5x7 size because it'll fit a range of cookie sizes. But that's all it is, just your standard cellophane bag. So what I do when I wrap cookies, I will take one cookie, and I usually try to match my cookies up by size. So like these are near the same size. If you have two smaller ones, I try to package them so that they're similar in size. I'll lay one down with its face down, and then I'll lay the other one, so you're laying them back to back. So you're putting undecorated side to undecorated side, okay? So I put them back to back like that, And then what I'll do is I like using the bubble wrap that you can tear off in the 12 by 12 sheet. That way you know the same size all the time. And then what I do is I'll wrap both cookies together. And I'll usually use tape for this. So then I would wrap this all up because you want it to be a nice little package. Okay? So I would wrap this all up and then I would put like a piece of packing tape here. Okay? So now both cookies, they're protected by layers of bubble wrap around them. Okay? Then what I do, when I ship cookies, I never ever package my cookies where they're laying down like this in the box. Never ever. So what I do is I stand my cookies up like this in the box. So they're standing straight up like this. Okay, so this will pretend, you know, actually I have a small box here from Sweetly Printed that's a lot smaller of a box, and I'll be able to show you guys without zooming out to heaven and back. Let me take I ordered new cutters from her, so I have her pretty little box. Her pretty new packaging came today. Let me get all this stuff out of the box. Okay, so let's say this is your shipping box, right? And obviously these aren't going to fit in here. Just pretend it's a shipping box. I stand the cookies up in there like this, okay? And pretend you're also going to have this lined. A lot of times, depending on, you can see how thick this is packaged with bubble wrap. So I usually don't go around the sides of my box with bubble wrap. I just lay it down on the bottom so it's a nice padding there. But this is what I do. I do 2 cookies back to back, wrap them in a sheet of bubble wrap, tape it closed, and then I just stack them standing up this way. Okay? If you really feel it's important enough, I don't because I usually have a lot, at least on one side, of extra bubble wrap for padding. I don't usually add any padding around the sides. One of the biggest deals that you want when shipping cookies, you want to make sure that there's no shifting in the package. So let's say once I filled this all up with my package of cookies, I want it to be not so tight that you're going to damage your cookie, but you want it to be snug in there so that if I put all the cookies in there and I shake the box, there'll be no shifting whatsoever in the box. Okay? Now, like I said, let's pretend this is a big shipping box. Once I get all my cookies in, I also take a couple more sheets of bubble wrap. I layer them on top of the cookies. And then if I still have more room on the top of the box before closing it, I like to get like those little air pillows or packing peanuts, something like that to create even more of a barrier. And I lay those all, either the packing pillows or packing peanuts or just a bunch of bubble wrap. I lay that all along the top of the cookies in the box. And that way everything has a nice padding around it. Everything's wrapped and you don't have any shifting in the box. So it would take a lot for something to happen to the shipping box to damage those cookies because they're just going to have so much protection around them. So that's how I ship my cookies. Does anybody have any questions as far as that goes? Did you need me to? Sometimes in my brain, I'm going through it, what sounds right, but sometimes people may be looking at it going, what? So I wanted to let you all know too, if you guys didn't see it on our page, we have released to the public. Remember last week, if you were here, we have the Look Who's cookie cutters. Before we had released it as a set of 1 through 5, but also with matching stencils. We have released some sets without stencils. So if you're not a stencil person, I know some people aren't, they like to use like their Pico. We have just the cutter sets. And it's $25. They're in our shop now and they're available. We have brought down the processing time a little bit because we have our 3rd printer going. So we have a 3rd printer opened up and it's moving things along a lot faster. So right now I think Carrie can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think we're in like a 7 to 14 day. Yeah, Kelly, I like to use UPS or FedEx. Both of those have worked really well for me. And like I said, I'm not trying to dog on USPS, the Postal Service. They do a great job on a lot of stuff. I have personally had a lot of problems with cookies showing up with boxes looking like they've been drop kicked at the door. So I just made a personal decision to not go with them anymore. Renee, you know what? There's not really last year I had baked some extra cookies around like graduation time. I had a bunch of orders and they were undecorated cookies. and I put them in a airtight container like that, popped them in the freezer. They were in my deep freezer for a couple months. I took them out, I think, in like July, just like I do every time, just thaw in the container without opening it. And when I opened it, it was as soft as the day I baked it. So I don't know if there's a hard and fast answer to that. Personally, the longest I've ever done it and then tested it was a couple of months. You can ship overnight. Yeah, Belinda, you definitely can. Yep. It just really only matters. Are you talking about our cutter, Belinda, or are you talking about just cookies in general? Our cutters just go out as regular standard first class shipping because we use a shipping service, so it's all integrated in for the prices. We get a discount for that for y'all. One other thing, if you guys are on here and you have been interested in our cookie crew, we have actually decided to open up our doors. And you know what, Carrie, if you're on here, I totally forgot to do this. It doesn't matter. If Carrie wants to email me over the picture of the cutters that we're using next month, actually, I can email it to myself. Hold on, and I'll show y'all. I want you guys to see these because they're super cute. We showed them to the crew today. But we're opening up the doors starting tonight for the cookie crew for next month. Next month will be our Easter month. So we're going to be working on a lot of fun sets for that. Give me a second. I'm scrolling down so I can get to the picture she sent me because I'm going to show you guys. Anyway, we're opening the doors. Here's the only caveat to that. The doors are opening tonight, but access will not be given to everyone, all of our new members, until next Friday morning, just because we have to get through our tutorial this month for all of our current folks. So, yeah, Luana, if you're wanting to learn how to decorate these cookies, girl, you got to get on it. Sorry, y'all. I can't talk. Obviously, I can't multitask. I can't talk and also chew gum or do anything else at the same time. Okay, I'm sending this now so I can show y'all. So we, going forward, have decided that we used to do some animal cutters, but we made the executive decision that we want to do our custom cutters. So that's what we're doing now. We're doing 2 free custom cutters a month, so it's going to be cutter that no one else has. The Cookie Crew, Michelle, is our monthly subscription group. It's a tutorial group where I teach you step by step. It's really aimed towards beginners to intermediate cookiers. And you get to do tutorials along with me live on Facebook in a private group. You don't have to be live while I do it, but it's at your convenience, so it's always there. So if you can't get on while we're live, you can go back and pause it and start it where you want. And I walk you through, hey Georgia, I'll walk you through decorating at least 5 cookies in our main tutorial, and then we also have a bonus tutorial every month too, where we do at least 2 cookies. But in the Cookie Crew, you get 2 free cookie cutters every month. And that's included in the price. That's nothing, there's no additional cost for that. You don't have to pay for shipping or anything. We cover it. And it's, like I said, it's 2 exclusive cutters. Let me show y'all real quick if I can, if it'll let me. Okay, let's see if it'll let me. So 2 exclusive cutters, that's included in the price. So the price for the States is $29.99 a month. And like I said, you get the 2 tutorials with that, the 2 free cutters. You're in a private group where we have a big community in there. A lot of the women, they're great in there. Everybody answers questions. Hopefully y'all are seeing my screen. I'm waiting for this to roll over here on my feed. I know it's like a little bit delayed. Hoping you all see it. I hope it's cutting over here. It's cut over. And then we have a little cute bunny and a carrot car. So those are the free cutters for next month for our Easter set. So we'll be using those 2 cutters along with 3 other cutters that you're responsible for getting. But usually I try to use cutters that are, 1, inexpensive if you don't already have it. I do things that are readily available that you can get, or basic shape. Because, you shouldn't have to spend a ton of money, buying all these different cookie cutters. So that's 2 of the designs. So we'll do 5 Easter designs, and then we're doing a bonus tutorial as well, where we're going to do with some other cutters that we have available. That's another thing. If you're in the crew, you get free tag downloads for packaging. We do them for like every holiday. On Valentine's Day, we had a ton in our crew store, and they're always free to our Cookie Crew members. Also, you have exclusive cutters that are made only available to the Cookie Crew. So there are a couple of sets that we opened up to our cookie cutters for Easter sets that they could purchase if they so choose. And I'm going to do our tutorial with some of them. So it's going to be a lot of fun. If you have been, considering joining the crew or something like that, it's a lot of fun. I just think it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun in there. I think it's a lot of information. I think people get to learn a lot. And I don't know. I try to really take my time in our crew tutorials because that's where all the learning is happening. So I want to make sure everybody is able, to follow along and learn. And, I know a lot of people that join the tutorial groups, whether it be me or somebody else, are learn to the group. So that's kind of where that comes from. All right. Everybody is telling me to copy on sounding. So I think it's probably still our program. That goes. Does anyone have any other questions for me? If not, I'm going to end the misery of our sound tonight. If anybody has any other questions for me about what we talked about tonight, about the people, any questions about anything we discussed? Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and in this, we're having tech issues. So thank you guys for joining tonight. I hope you got something out of it, got some good, useful tips. And if you're in the group, talking to you guys next week as well. And we'll see you guys back here next Wednesday. You guys have a great night.